Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Government House Yarralumla. Dawa Nuna, Dawa Nunawel. To traditional owners of the land in which we meet, the Nunawel people, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present, emerging leaders and all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders gathered here with us this afternoon. My name is Paul Singer and I'm the Governor-General's Official Secretary. And as this badge signifies with its cross quills, I'm also the Secretary of the Order of Australia, whose Council recommends appointments and awards in the Order's General Division to the Governor-General, who is the Chancellor of the Order of Australia and Principal Companion of the Order. I'm also the Secretary to the Australian Bravery Decorations Council, the body which makes recommendations to the Governor-General for Bravery Awards. Before we start the ceremony this afternoon, I'd like to acknowledge among our distinguished guests, Major General Colin Carrington, representing the Chief Defence Force, Commodore Raymond Leggett, representing the Chief of Navy, Major General Susan Coyle, representing the Chief of Army, Air Commodore Philip Gordon, representing the Chief of Air Force, Mr Matthew Mavety, representing the Commissioner for ACT Emergency Services, and Mr Bill Maiden, representing the National President of the Order of Australia Association. Welcome all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, notwithstanding the challenges presented by the pandemic, we are delighted to be able to proceed with this investiture this afternoon. We're grateful for your understanding of and compliance with the measures that we've put in place to ensure that this ceremony can occur in a COVID-safe manner. The Honours and Award system provides a wonderful mechanism through which we as a nation can recognise and celebrate ordinary Australians who do extraordinary things. Since its inception in 1975, almost 400,000 people have been recognised for their meritorious, bravery, military or national service. The Order of Australia is the principal means of recognising outstanding service. And it's important to note that nominations come from all areas of the community. Anyone can nominate. Today is a special day, not only for the recipients, but also for their families, friends, and their communities. It's a day when we celebrate a diverse range of impressive achievements and service. My Government House colleagues and I are privileged to play a small part in the recognition and celebration of that achievement, and I hope that we can make today an occasion that you'll all recall with pride for some time to come. Shortly, I'll invite you to stand as Their Excellencies the Governor-General and Mrs Hurley enter the room. Please remain standing and join in the singing of the first verse of the Australian National Anthem. The investiture will then begin and proceed in the order listed in your programs. After I read their names and citations, the recipients will enter from the door on my right, and after they've been invested, will leave by the central aisle, and it's at this point you might like to show your appreciation by short applause. At the conclusion of the investiture ceremony, the Governor-General will say a few words, and after the ceremony is complete, I'll invite all recipients to join with Their Excellencies out on the state entrance stairs for an official photograph. To assist recipients in making their way to the stairs, could I just ask that guests remain seated temporarily in the drawing room whilst Their Excellencies and recipients depart. Their Excellencies then look forward to joining with everyone in the dining room and hopefully, if the weather holds, out on the lakeside terrace for refreshments. So, ladies and gentlemen, please relax and enjoy this very special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of Her Excellencies the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia and Mrs Linda Hurley, and for the singing of the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Well, good afternoon all, and a very warm welcome to Government House here at Yarralumla. I'm sure that in welcoming you here, we all come together as well to acknowledge that Government House sits on the land of the Ngunnawal people. And if you're a Canberran for any period of time, you'll know what a beautiful part of the country this Canberra region is. And we thank the Ngunnawal people for looking after us for generation after generation and pay respects to their elders, past and present. It's a fairly formal day today. I think you've already noticed that. Staff all dressed nicely, everyone here in the military uniforms, in their number one equivalent, ceremonial. Why? Because this is a significant day in our national calendar. It's a day, and I've heard Paul say to you, this is a very important, the preeminent manner in which we acknowledge contributions of Australians to their community, to the nation, to more broadly, internationally for some. That makes it an important day. It should have protocol and it should have ceremony. It is also a day to enjoy, so please relax. You may smile and breathe at the appropriate times. This system that was introduced to Australia in 1975 to replace the Imperial Awards, the old British awards, has, I believe, one very important, perhaps unique characteristic, and that is the nominations come from the bottom up. This is not a system in which an elite in Canberra or a capital city of Australia looks around, sees someone doing good deeds and says, right, I'm going to give that person a medal. The community members in particular who receive awards today and this week have done so because the members of the community have seen them and the good work they do and have nominated them. So at the end of this session today, I'm going to issue you some homework. School children didn't expect that today, but watch carefully, and we're going to have some homework later on. The award itself, of course, covers many fields of endeavour. Here in Canberra, we cover the general division, which is the normal community division, and because of our military presence here, we'll also have representation from the military division. Those two divisions come together to make up the Order of Australia. Today is a day in which we celebrate. At the end of today, you will have a good idea of what your Order of Australia is all about and how you can contribute. Keep that line in mind for homework. Now, my great pleasure to formally conduct the investiture ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor-General. Your Excellency, to be presented with the insignia of his appointment as a companion in the General Division of the Order of Australia, Emeritus Professor Kurt Lambert. For eminent service to science, particularly to geophysics and geodesy, through research roles at the national and international level, to professional scientific organisations and to education. Professor Lambert is one of our most distinguished scientists who has made pioneering contributions in the fields of earth sciences, geophysics, paleoclimatology and tectonics. He has improved our understanding of planet Earth, its gravitational field and rotation, both of these being fundamental for the navigation of satellites. His work has created a world-leading global positioning capability for Australia. Each day, tens of millions of people, without ever knowing it, use positioning technology that has resulted from his contributions. He's been elected to prestigious scientific academies and has also served as Vice President and then as President of the Australian Academy of Science, where he's been a strong advocate for science education and policy. Professor Lambert is a genuine icon of science and a role model for young scientists. As a nation, we are indebted to him for his service. Emeritus Professor Kurt Lambert appointed a companion of the Order. Appointed a member of the Order in the General Division, Dr. Brian Babington, for significant service to children through safety and wellbeing initiatives. Dr. Babington has devoted many years of dedicated service to improving the lives of children and their families through his role as Chief Executive Officer of Families Australia. High amongst his many achievements has been the critical role he played in the establishment of the National Plan for Protecting Australia's Children. The National Child Protection Framework is a unique undertaking and has markedly changed the narrative at the national level concerning child wellbeing. He's also been the driving force behind National Families Week, a week that has encouraged involvement in community activities to celebrate the diversity that characterises Australian families. Dr. Babington is an exemplar to us all, and we recognise his service today. Dr. Brian Babington, appointed a member of the Order. Appointed a member in the Order of the Military Division, Air Vice Marshal Alan Clements, for exceptional service to the Australian Defence Force in delivering the 2013 Force Structure Review and in international engagement as Head of the Australian Defence Staff, Washington. Air Vice Marshal Clements is an exceptional senior officer who has served the Royal Australian Air Force with distinction for over 36 years. In his role with the Force Structure Review in 2013, he developed a comprehensive framework which improved the incorporation of joint experimentation and capability-based planning, which are now widely regarded as fundamentals in force design. From 2016, as Head of Australia's Defence Staff in Washington, DC, he enhanced the close relationship between Australian and United States Armed Forces, particularly as the Dean of the Corps of Defence Attachés, where he fostered a community of cooperation between the 145 countries represented. Air Vice Marshal Clements' service represents the highest ideals of the Australian Defence Force. Air Vice Marshal Alan Clements, appointed a member of the Order. Awarded the Medal of the Order in the General Division, the late Mrs. Ethel Baxter, to be accepted by her daughter, Ms. Lorna Baxter, and her son, Mr. Adrian Baxter, for service to the Indigenous community of Queanbeyan. Mrs. Baxter, a proud Wiradjuri woman known as Auntie Ethel, was a stalwart of this region's Indigenous community for many years. She was a board member of the Woonunga Nimitijah Aboriginal and Health and Community Services for more than 15 years, and also served on the Aboriginal Education Consultative Forum, the Aboriginal Parent Support Awareness Program, and she was a councillor with the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander Commission. Her love and concern for disadvantaged children saw her foster more than 50 Indigenous and non-Indigenous children over 30 years. She was often contacted by the New South Wales Department of Community Services to take children in emergency situations and also children with challenging difficulties. Mrs. Baxter's dedication to children and to the Indigenous community has been exemplary. Ms. Lorna Baxter and Mr. Adrian Baxter accept the award of the Medal of the Order on behalf of their late mother, Mrs. Ethel Baxter. Awarded the Medal of the Order in the General Division, Dr. Craig Cormick, for service to science and to the community. Dr. Cormick has been tireless in his efforts to communicate the wonders of science to the wider community. His initiatives, publications and approaches have been adopted by other science communicators both nationally and internationally, as has his research on public attitudes on emerging technologies. He has served as the chair of the Australian Science Communicators Organisation and the National Youth Science Forum. Additionally, he is an active member of the ACT writing community through his service to the ACT Writers Centre and has published over 20 books for adults and children. Dr. Cormick is a fine example of service above self, and we honour him today. Dr. Craig Cormick awarded the Medal of the Order. Awarded the Medal of the Order in the Military Division, Captain Paul Favregal, for meritorious performance of duty in the recognition of service of current and ex-serving members as the Director of Navy Honours and Awards. Captain Favregal has, over the past 6 years, led significant reform of Navy's honours and award system. His leadership and advocacy has driven a complete redevelopment of the system, including streamlining the processes of nominating, awarding, and presenting all levels of recognition within the Navy. He's also been instrumental in revitalising appropriate recognition for ex-serving members. In particular, he drove the collaboration with the United States Navy to finalise the awards of foreign decorations arising from the HMAS Melbourne and the USS Frank E. Evans collision in 1969. Captain Favregal's achievements have enhanced Navy's reputation and significantly strengthened its engagement with veteran communities. Captain Paul Favregal awarded the Medal of the Order. We move now to the Conspicuous Service Decorations. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Colonel Michael Hose, for outstanding achievement in satellite communications development for Australia and the Australian Defence Force. Colonel Hose distinguished himself in progressing the Australian Defence Satellite Communications System Joint Project. As Deputy Director Space Army, he incorporated the government's strategic intent for satellite communications with Defence's requirements. He assisted in obtaining government approval for his capability proposal, which was announced by the Prime Minister during his Defence Strategic Update and Force Structure Plan address in July 2020. Colonel Hose's commitment and contribution articulated the government's intentions for a $7 billion investment in space over the next decade that will change the way defence will share, control and operate sovereign satellite communications well into the future. Colonel Michael Hose awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Wing Commander Timothy Cantrill. For outstanding achievement in military aircraft type certification as Engineering Manager of Project Air 8000 Phase 2, acquiring the C-27J Spartan transport aircraft. Wing Commander Cantrill played a leading role in the complex airworthiness certification process required as part of the C-27J Spartan aircraft acquisition. His incisive actions resulted in the issue of a military type certificate for the aircraft, allowing operational commanders to utilise the complete capabilities of the plane whilst appropriately managing the airworthiness risk. He implemented detailed program management and reporting, introduced technical education, coaching and mentoring for staff, and conceived innovative methods to meet airworthiness regulations. Wing Commander Cantrill's achievements, leadership and technical mastery have been in the finest traditions of our Air Force. Wing Commander Timothy Cantrill awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Major Carolyn Wood. For meritorious achievement in the application of authentic leadership as Officer Commanding, Specialist and Command Support Wing, Army School of Ordnance, and collaborative management through uncertainty through the 2020 Victorian bushfire crisis. Major Wood has demonstrated enthusiasm and passion in ensuring Australian Defence Force members are trained to the highest standard. As Commander of the Specialist and Command Support Wing, she introduced innovative training solutions, including the Battlefield Management System, into initial employment. In response to COVID-19, she utilised available resources to generate innovative training solutions that enabled promotion courses in the Command Support Clerk trade to be delivered entirely online. Major Wood also demonstrated superior commitment during the 2020 Victorian bushfire crisis when she created an evacuation centre at Latchford Barracks in just 48 hours to house over 200 persons displaced by the fires. Major Caroline Wood awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Wing Commander Damien Fairhurst. For meritorious achievement as the Commander of Task Unit 630.1 on Operation Accordion from October 2019 to June 2020. Wing Commander Fairhurst commanded a unit during an extremely dynamic period, whilst maintaining support to coalition operations against Daesh in Iraq and air mobility support to Joint Task Force 633 in the Middle East. His tenure was marked by particular challenges that increased the complexity and the risk to the mission. He was also the commander of the task unit through the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The restrictions resulting from the COVID threat, combined with increased attacks on coalition bases, led to the decision to withdraw the Australian mission at Taji. Wing Commander Fairhurst's planning and leadership skills enabled the subsequent safe movement of Australian personnel from high-risk environments. Wing Commander Damien Fairhurst awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. And we move now to a Meritorious Service Award. Awarded the Australian Fire Service Medal, Mr. Paul Flynn, for distinguished service to the Australian Capital Territory Fire and Rescue Service. Mr. Flynn commenced with the then ACT Fire Brigade in 1997 as a recruit, and during his 23 years as an operational firefighter, he's worked across a range of functions in ACT Fire and Rescue. He's led multidisciplined, multi-skilled and geographically dispersed teams of specialists at several major incidents, including at the 2020 Aurora Valley Fire, which was the most significant threat to Canberra since the 2003 bushfires. Since his promotion to superintendent in 2020, he's utilised his vast incident control and specialist rescue knowledge to command the specialised operations portfolio. Mr. Flynn has provided exceptional service to the ACT Fire and Rescue and to the community of the Canberra region throughout his career. Mr. Paul Flynn awarded the Australian Fire Service Medal. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentations this afternoon, and I now invite the Governor-General to address us.
Now, we've acknowledged each of the recipients individually. I think it'd be appropriate now to acknowledge them as a group. Congratulations all. So you've seen a bit of the spectrum of reasons why people receive awards. Later this week, there'll be many community members from community organisations who are included as well. And that leads me to the homework. If you look at the diversity represented in the Order of Australia over recent years, although the number of women represented in the Order is growing, we're still not where we need to be. Secondly, in a multicultural sense and in an Indigenous numbers, we are not where we should be to reflect Australia as it is today. So your homework, go back to your community, look around, you know the people who are working well for community who should be recognised. Go to our website and nominate. If you don't nominate, they cannot be acknowledged. It's a bottom-up system. So there's your homework. I want to see your nomination walking through that door in the next couple of years to show that you have listened today and you're appreciative of what's happening in your community. Again, delighted to have you here. Linda and I are delighted to have you here today to share in the occasion. We look forward to catching up with you when we break in a moment. But relax, please. Enjoy your occasion. Wander through the house. Don't go up the stairs. That's where we live. But enjoy the day and celebrate being in the company of some great Australians. Well done all. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we've heard from the Governor-General, anyone can nominate someone for consideration within the Order of Australia. It's easy to do by accessing the nomination form via the Governor-General's website at www.gg.gov.au. And as the Governor-General said, we look forward to inviting both future recipients to an investiture such as this in the future. I now invite the recipients to join with Her Excellencies on the state entrance stairs for an official photograph. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the departure of Her Excellencies the Governor-General and Mrs Hurley.